Good evening. I'm Mark Gooding, ZL2UFI in Upper Hutt.
And I'm Debby Morgan, ZL2DL in Upper Hutt.
And I'm Stephen McNeill, ZL4HG from Christchurch.
And I'm Jim Meachin, ZL2BHF in Nelson. And together we bring you the NZART official broadcast for April 2021. Good evening, everyone. Leading tonight's official broadcast is Presidential Comment. From Upper Hutt, here's our NZART President, Mark Gooding, ZL2UFI. Mark?
Kia ora and pamari, everyone. As you no doubt have heard, the allocation of frequencies in the 5 MHz or 60 metre band for amateur use have been advised. To quote Bob Vernal, ZL2CA, who, working independently of NZART, has said, the internationally allocated 60 metre amateur band, 535.1 to 5366.5 kilohertz, has been cleared of formerly licensed users in New Zealand. This can be confirmed by a public search of the New Zealand Register of Radio Frequencies. There is now a clear path for New Zealand radio amateurs to gain access to all of the internationally allocated amateur band 5351.5 to 5366.5 kilohertz. On behalf of NZART and all New Zealand amateurs, I wish to thank Bob for his work in this area. A meeting was held with RSM by our ALO Don Wallace, ZL2TLL, and others last week, and the process to obtain an initial temporary licence for usage of this allocation is underway. We hope to grandfather across those who held a previous sub-licence so that they don't need to reapply. The actual details will be advised once it is worked through and more information is known. We will be secondary users in this band. These frequencies are or may be allocated for use by other services. Amateur operators must accept interference from and must not cause interference to other services. As we are looking forward to conference, NZART is short of a councillor in the Northern District or the old ZL1 area. So if you can have a think about it or approach me at conference so that we can fill this role. While on conference, I wish to advise that the registrations are coming in and the committee are working through the last-minute items to make the conference a success. Both Karen and I will be there, so hope to see as many of you as possible. And finally, I wish to thank all those that have served and are serving New Zealand on Anzac Day, lest we forget. That's all from me, and back to you, Jim.
And thank you, Mark. The President of NZART, Mark Gooding, ZL2UFI. Now to information on this year's Sangster Shield contest. The 2021 NZART Sangster Shield contest is to be held Saturday the 15th and Sunday the 16th of May, 2000 hours to 2300 hours NZST each evening. Rules for this year are unchanged since those published in the 2016 April-May break-in and as per current NZART website under Activities, then Contests. 80 metres CW only for entrance with power output up to 5 watts PP. Note that the Transistor Trophy entry criteria allows first-time Sangster entrants rather than just newly licensed operators. Remember that there are 6 half-hour operating periods each evening, i.e. 2000 to 2030, 2030 to 2100, etc. Use the branch number of your location regardless of whether this is currently active or in recess. Operating just one night is also fine, as we'd all prefer to have as many on the air as possible. 73 and hoping to work you in the contest, and that information supplied by the contest organiser, Glenn Kingston, ZL2KZ. It's to Upper Hutt we go now, and it's a very good evening to our NZART Business Manager, Debby Morgan, ZL2DL.
Kia ora, Jim, and Pomaria, everyone. I have previously talked about upcoming changes to the banking industry and how this will affect you paying your membership subscriptions to NZART. However, just to reiterate, we will not be accepting any cheques after the 24th of June this year. Furthermore, another change that came about in February was our ability for acceptance of credit card payments. Previously, you could just phone us with your credit card number, then we obtained an authorisation number and the transaction was processed. Now we have a new system whereby we enter the card number online and details directly. However, we now require the 3-digit number that appears on the back of your card, the CVV number. Rest assured this number is not stored anywhere in the NZART system and is 99.9% safe for you to give us. If this number is not supplied, we cannot process your payment. This especially applies to call sign applications and new membership applications. New forms for call sign and membership have now been updated on our website. I urge all examination supervisors to please download this form before any examination. Another change in this ever-changing digital world is the new look of our HQ info line. Recently, I asked for anyone who used to subscribe to this prior to September last year and has found they are no longer receiving it to please contact headquarters. However, one more thing to mention for anyone wishing to send us an article, if you have attachments that need to be included, it is much better to provide us with a URL link from your branch webpage rather than a PDF file. I understand some mail servers cannot cope with these attachments in any other form than a web address. So to make sure your important announcement can be circulated, please either send it as a Word document or the URL where you have stored. This is especially important for branch newsletters. Next week, I will be sending to all secretaries your branch statistics for the upcoming conference. Included will be the new call sign form, membership application form, and the Callbook NZART website update form. Lastly, conference is almost upon us. I urge you all to register either online or by using the registration page in the March-April issue of Break-In. Now that our borders are open to Australia, accommodation is selling out fast, so be in quick to ensure you have a place to stay. That's all from me, Jim. Back to you.
Thank you, Debbie. Debbie Morgan, ZL2DL, the NZART Business Manager. Radio Electronics Group Branch 89's annual equipment sale will be held at the Glenview Club, 211 Peacocks Road, Glenview, Hamilton, on Saturday, the 15th of May. Entry for vendors from 8:30am, with doors open to the public at 10am, with a $2 lucky ticket entry. There'll be trade displays, refreshments and door prizes. It's a great venue with plenty of parking and easy access. Motorhome parking is also available. Tables, $20. For vendor registration and inquiries, contact Vern, ZL1TKG, ZL1REGSale@gmail.com, or you can phone John, ZL1PO, 021 204 5990. Again, that number, 021 204 5990. And that information from Radio Electronics Group, who are holding their annual equipment sale at the Glenview Club in Hamilton on Saturday, the 15th of May. Now to catch up on amateur radio news from around the world, we join the team at the Amateur Radio Newsline.
Young amateurs in IARU Region 1 are going to have to wait another year to attend ham radio camp. Ed Durant, DD5LP, brings us up to date.
Concerns over the COVID-19 pandemic have postponed the Yota Summer Camp planned for this summer by the Youth Working Group in IARU Region 1. In making the announcement, Philip, DK6SP, and Marcus, DL8GM, the group's chair and vice chair respectively, said that the organisers' intention is to reschedule the camp for the summer of 2022. This is the second pandemic-related postponement for the camp, which was being held with support from the Croatian Amateur Radio Society. In place of in-person events, Youngsters on the Air in Region 1 has been hosting a number of online workshops. Meanwhile, in IARU Region 2, planners have said they are still optimistic that they will be able to hold the first Youth on the Air camp for young amateurs in North, Central and South America this summer, and will be providing a COVID regulations-compliant environment. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Ed Durant, DD5LP.
As Newsline went to production, we also learned that the IARU Region 1 Yoda sub-regional camp in Hungary was also being postponed. The Hungarian Amateur Radio Society made the decision based on Region 1's COVID-19 event cancellation policy. If you're constantly battling noise in the environment in your attempts to get on the air, this next story from Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, might just show some promise.
Researchers in the U.S. who have been working with atom-based sensors and receivers say their work holds potential for weeding out environmental noise and other radio interference. Scientists at the National Institute of Standards and Technology see the sensor as a vital component because of its ability to measure what they call the angle of arrival of a wireless signal, a capability they believe will have a positive impact on the transmission for radar, 5G, and other modes. According to an article in phys.org, the system is able to take incoming signals and convert them into different frequencies. After measuring the separate electromagnetic waves' frequencies and their phase, that is, the position of the waves relative to each other, the system can determine where the signal is coming from. The scientists say that's necessary in order to differentiate real communications from interfering signals. According to the phys.org article, atom-based receivers and antennas have added benefits. They can be a great deal smaller than their traditional counterparts, and by making use of atoms to do the main work, they have no need for more conventional forms of electronics to do signal conversion. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
Is changing frequencies a good thing? Well, hams do it all the time. And now a mysterious transmission in space known as an FRB, or fast radio burst, has been found to be engaging in that practice too. Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, has more.
Researchers have made a discovery they say changes the shape of their search for the source of FRBs, fast radio bursts, detected in space that appear to come from, well, nobody quite knows. Scientists in McGill University Physics Department have detected bursts down to 110 megahertz, a good deal lower in frequency than the previously detected 300 megahertz. Writing in the astrophysical journal Letters, the researchers write that this new discovery has led them to think differently about where the bursts are coming from. Using radio telescopes in British Columbia and the Netherlands, the team detected the significantly lower frequencies and a constant delay of about 3 days between detection of the higher and the lower frequencies. They're still hot on the trail of the source of the bursts, but say that the ability to detect 110 megahertz transmissions brings them much closer to understanding things, especially one burst that was first detected in 2018 and is relatively close to Earth. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Jim Dameron, N8TMW in Charleston, West Virginia, saying 73. And as always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2021, all rights reserved.
And as always, we say thank you to Newsline for the use of their copyright material. This year's NZART conference is being held over Queen's Birthday weekend at the East Pier Hotel and Conference Centre, Ahuri, Napier. The full conference timetable and information on the main programme Saturday, the amateur programme for Sunday, and the alternative programmes for both days, along with the conference registration form, can all be found on pages 28 and 29 of your March-April copy of Break-In. Avoid the 14th of May late registration penalty. Register now for NZART Conference 2021 in Napier. A note tonight from Lindsay Barker, ZL3DL, who is soon to be selling on TradeMe a large amount of equipment that belonged to the late Ed Hart ZL4IR. This gear consists of transceivers, linears, antenna tuners, SWR meters, antenna hardware and components, etc. For details, you can contact Lindsay ZL3DL, and his email address is avelinb25@gmail.com. avelinb25@gmail.com. Or you can phone him 021 1010 119, 021 1010 119, and you will be notified when items come up on TradeMe. Finally, in tonight's official broadcast lineup, it's branch news. Here's Stephen McNeill, ZL4HG.
Thanks, Jim, and good evening, everyone. Tonight, we start with the Hibiscus Coast Radio Society, which has an Earth Station Project in-person meeting on the 28th of April, starting 7:30pm at the club rooms. The team will be organising its working bees. Now that the equipment hut is in place, the next steps are to install the radio equipment and the power control systems. So that's at the Hibiscus Coast Radio Society club rooms at 479 Whangaparoa Road in Stanmore Bay. To Western Suburbs NZART Branch 03. The next meeting is on Saturday the 22nd of May, starting at 10am, where Tony ZL1 TLC will be discussing bellins and chokes, and that's at the club rooms at 3000 Great North Road in New Lynn. Down to the Franklin Amateur Radio Club NZART Branch 10, where the next general meeting is on Tuesday the 18th of May. The meeting will include preparation for NZART conference and will conclude with an illustrated presentation by Ted ZL1BQA on two of his recent projects, a bellin and an end-fed antenna. And the meeting starts at 7:30pm at the Clubhouse, 19 Stadium Drive in Pukekohe. Now to Wellington NZART Branch 50, where the social group meeting is on Tuesday the 27th of April at 11:30am at the QTH of George ZL2AG, which is at 14 Vasanta Avenue in Nio. There's also a shed meeting on Sunday the 2nd of May on receive antennas and mag loops, and that's from 1 to 3pm at Bernard's QTH. Down to the South Island now, and Marlborough Branch 22 NZART has its next meeting on Thursday the 13th of May, where Graham Mackay will give a presentation on low Earth orbit satellites. Finally to Otago Branch 30 NZART, where meetings are held on Wednesdays at the club rooms in McAndrew Bay in South Dunedin. On April the 28th there will be a debrief on the Otago Rally. On May the 5th, Dr. Paul Denny from the Surveying Department of Otago University will talk about geodetics, the study of Earth deformation. On the 19th, the Yagi Build project continues with a fabrication night, and there will be an AREC update on May the 26th. Well, Jim, that's all from me. Back to you.
Thank you, Stephen. Stephen McNeill, ZL4HG, reporting from Christchurch. The next official broadcast of NZART will be made by ZL6A at 8pm on Sunday the 30th of May. This is ZL6A, headquarters station of the New Zealand Association of Radio Transmitters, concluding the NZART official broadcast for April 2021. Good night, everyone. Good night now.